Today we're talking about the 5 most popular folklore tales from Jamaica. Hope you enjoy. High above the Caribbean Sea, the cliffs of St. Elizabeth rise nearly 1,700 feet into the sky. The place whispers of a tale etched into the rock forever. The legend of Lover's Leap. It is the late 18th century on the Yardley Chase estate. Mizzy served inside the great house as a housekeeper. Her beauty and quiet strength is impossible to ignore, right? Her master, Richard Chadley, powerful plantation owner, sees more than just a worker in her, right? He sees something to claim, something to own. Across the way, on a neighboring estate, labors Tonky, tall, strong, and resolute. Fate brings Mizzy and Tonky together, and in their secret moments that they have together, love takes root. Despite the chains of their bondage, they find freedom in each other's arms. But Chadley's eyes never stray far from Mizzy. The thought of her belonging to anyone else, least of all an enslaved man, hot up in head, right? Like fire, the man just seeing red. His desire turns to obsession, and his obsession soon to fury. So one night, under the pale moon, Charlie sends his guard to seize Tonky, right? So the shackles clinking, torches flickering, and the hunt begins. But the plantation has eyes and also ears. So Mizzy and Tonky actually caught wind of Charlie's plan. So they know that punishment awaits in the form of separation or torture or something worse, right? So their only chance is to run. So they do. Through the cane fields, through the dark hills, Mizzy and Tonky fled, right? Hearts pounding like drums of war. Behind them, the shouts of guards grow louder, boots pounding on the earth, steel glinting in the dark. The lovers climb higher and higher up the jagged paths of the Santa Cruz Mountains. And at last, they reach the cliff's edge. There is no way back. Mizzy and Tonky share one last look, a silent vow, a promise that no chain, no master, no God will ever break what they hold between them. And then together, they leap. And from that night on, the cliff has borne their memory. So they call that place Lover's Leap, where the world remembers Mizzy and Tonky, right? 2 souls who chose freedom in death over a lifetime in chains. If you've ever been to Montego Bay, you've been close to one of Jamaica's darkest legends. Her name was Annie Palmer. Born in Haiti, Annie grew up surrounded by whispers of rebellion, blood, and black magic, of course. After losing her parents, she was raised by a Haitian nanny who, according to legend, taught her the dark arts, right? So ritual spells, ways to curse, ways to control, and also ways to kill. When she came to Jamaica, she found her opportunity. This was a man called John Palmer, one of the island's wealthiest plantation owners. Rose Hall wasn't just a home. It was 6,000 acres of sugarcane, hundreds of enslaved people, and unimaginable power. And Annie wanted it all, and she got it. Her first husband, John Palmer himself, died suddenly. Some say she poisoned him, slipping some venom into his wine. Others say she smothered him in his sleep. Her second husband didn't last much longer. He was found lifeless with no signs of struggle. Number 3, he died choking, screaming in the middle of the night, clawing at his throat as if invisible hands were squeezing the life out of him. The enslaved people who worked at Rose Hall feared Annie more than getting lashes, more than getting beaten. She was known to whip people to death for minor offenses. And there were whispers of young men lured into her bedroom, only to disappear when she grew bored of them. And at night, she performed rituals in the great house, calling spirits and sealing her power with blood. But one man decides, this has gone too far, this is too much. His name was Taku. He was an enslaved man on the estate and also an Obia practitioner himself, right? So all this time, Taku had watched Annie's cruelty for years. Some say she murdered somebody that he loved. Others say she threatened to kill him after he refused her advances. According to the legend, he studied her magic, learned her weaknesses, and planned his strike. One night when the moon was high and the house was silent, Taku crept into the bedroom. He was about to bind her spirit and then killed her in her sleep. They buried her on the estate, but according to legend, the ritual to bind her spirit was never finished. And that's why her ghost still roams Rose Hall today. So if you ever find yourself walking the halls of Rose Hall, if you hear the swish of a long dress behind you, don't turn around, because Annie Palmer might be closer than you think. If you are a fan of the content and you want to support me, see more videos like this, etc., don't know, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can share it with a friend, you could comment, you could like, all of that. If you want to take it even a step further, you can jump into the shop. The link is below. I have these hoodies in there for sale as well. And yeah, every dollar that I make from that shop goes into running everything, making videos even more high quality. So yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. Back to the video. Let's talk about one of the most mysterious and respected spirits in Jamaican folklore.
Never come back. The mermaid is real.
River Mumma. Lots of people describe her as a beautiful woman with long hair and this almost like otherworldly energy. She's said to live in the rivers, especially deep, quiet parts, and you might spot her sitting on a rock, calmly combing her hair with a golden comb. But don't let the calm fool you. She's not for decoration. River Mumma is a guardian. She protects the river itself, and the fish and all the river's inhabitants, those are her children, right? So if you try to like catch too many fish, like overfish, disturb the river, or act out of greed, things can go very wrong for you very quickly.
Lots of people are dying by the river. It haunted. Soon as we see the river get dirty, it get dangerous, cause it seem like the mermaid them one blood dose them time there.
She's also very closely tied to places like Rio Cobre in St. Catherine and like Flatbridge, which has its own set of creepy stories. Maybe that's a future video. But if you've ever driven across Flatbridge, like especially like at nighttime, you don't know the vibes. But yeah, some folks swear on them life and them grandmother that she has been spotted in those waters. There's also an old legend that she guards a sunken treasure beneath the river, right? Some say it belonged to Spanish pirates and they call it the Golden Table. But anyone who tries to steal it, either like the river swallows them whole or they lose their minds or something just go wrong, right? So clearly that treasure is not meant for the living. There's also stories about people trying to catch River Mumma herself, either to control her or to prove that she's real, but it never ever ends well.
Then go to the river, go dive. He say he see a big fish, he shoot him and him come up with the scale and can show her community people. And him say him have it, go back to that. He did go back, but what? He never come back. The mermaid is real.
No, just to be clear, River Mumma isn't evil, right? She's not out here trying to like harm anybody for fun or something like that. But she is powerful and she demands respect. She's tied to older African water spirits like Mummy Water, and her legend came to Jamaica through generations of storytelling. But she reminds us that everything is not for us to take. So whether you believe in her or not, River Mumma's story still flows through Jamaican culture, just like the rivers that she protects. There was one name that could make a child run home faster than anything else. The Blackheart Man. Parents would whisper it like a warning.
Watch out for the Blackheart Man.
Neighbors would say stay close to the road. And as dusk fell, children would huddle together walking in groups, praying that they wouldn't be the last one left behind. They said he roamed the countryside after dark. He was always watching. He was always searching for children who strayed too far from home. If he found you, he offered you sweets, maybe a toy, and if you followed him, you would never be seen again. The story went that he would take you to his hiding place, cut out your heart, and eat it. Some say that the story goes back to the days of slavery, when runaway slaves would hide in the heavily forested areas and mountains. The runaway slaves were fierce, desperate, willing to fight, and the British actually called them Blackhearts. The name carried fear, meant to keep other slaves from escaping into the hills. It was a tactic of the British to keep the slaves in check. Later on, the name was whispered about Rastas, man them with dreadlocks who rejected society's rules, living apart, growing their own food, self-sustainable, and chanting their own prayers. They were misunderstood, feared, and sometimes even hunted. To the children, the Blackheart Man became every stranger, every outsider, every shadowy figure who might lead them away from safety. But no matter how the legend started, what matters was this: the Blackheart Man taught you to be careful. Don't wander the roads alone, don't stay out too late, don't take gifts from strangers. And even now, they say he still walks at night. No one hears him coming, but everybody remembers the grin. Wide and hungry, as if he's already chosen you. And if you run, he will follow. Rolling calf. This thing is like nightmare fuel, right? In Jamaican folklore, the rolling calf is a type of duppy, which is like a ghost. Duppy. Basically a restless spirit. People say it looks like a huge bull or a goat with glowing red eyes, dragging a heavy chain. Sometimes you'll even hear like stories about smoke or fire coming from its nostrils, right? And it's not really just like a random creature or monster either. It is believed to be the ghost of a particularly wicked person who died. Some people say it's reincarnated butchers, while others say it's murderers. And they came back in this like terrifying form, just like rolling around the earth. He's like roaming in the night, causing trouble, terrifying people. Some variations of the story will say like, oh yeah, they can even shapeshift into like a dog or a cat. And you might smell sulfur before you even see it, or hear the chain dragging through the bush. Very creepy. The rolling calf is said to hang around spooky places like bamboo patches or caves or abandoned houses, cottonwood trees, or just like roaming around. And some people say not everyone can see it, only people who are like spiritually sensitive to that kind of thing, people who can see duppies, they might catch a glimpse. I mean, I not tested it. Should you ever cross paths with a rolling calf though, luckily there's a few things that people say that can protect you and kind of get you out of the situation, right? First one is to drop coins or sticks in its path. Them say rolling calf apparently has to stop and count each individual item. So that could just give you like enough time to like escape. Another one is to try and get to like a crossroads. Them say for some reason crossroads kind of like confuse the spirit and can, you know, like throw them off your trail. So you have time to just like move out of there. There's also another idea that if you have a whip in your left hand specifically, and you beat it, you can kind of like fend it off. Why the left hand? I don't know. Just some things where yeah, people say I don't know. But at its core, the story is like a warning, right? It's one of those like folklore tales meant to keep people in check. Like don't be wicked, don't be an asshole, don't be a dick, or else you just might end up coming back as like a chain dragging demon bull, I guess, haunting the country roads. And trust me, especially when you're hearing these stories as like a kid, you would definitely think twice before doing anything out of pocket, out of order. Whew.